Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my week number 10 college football picks and prediction video where I pick all of the scores of all of the ranked matchups for the upcoming weeks. So guys, just a little fun thing I do every single week. Sit back, relax. This is not meant to be serious. This is just my opinion on every ranked matchup. We have a lot of games to get to for college football week number 10. Starting with a Thursday game, and no, it does not involve Coastal Carolina, unfortunately. It is Georgia State taking on Louisiana. Louisiana's been playing some good football. This is a 7:30 start, I believe, on ESPN. I have Louisiana winning this game 35-17. Once again, Louisiana playing some good football recently. They started the season ranked in the preseason A people, immediately lost to Texas, and then have been kind of irrelevant since. But they're starting to turn their season around. You've got a Georgia State team, not great. I've got the Raging Cajuns at home winning this game 35-17. Moving on to the Saturday slate and the noon window, we have Missouri traveling to Athens to take on that absurd defense, and Georgia. I've got Georgia 38, Missouri 7. Georgia could very easily shut out Missouri in this game. I think Missouri scores a late touchdown. Probably a little slow start for Georgia. Offensively with Stetson Bennett, maybe a noon start time. I believe it's 11 a.m. Central in Georgia. So maybe a little slow start, but they turn it on, the number one team in the nation. They will definitely be ranked number one when the new college football playoff rankings, the first college football playoff rankings are released. This Georgia defense, I say it, the Georgia defense, if you have a 5-star at every position, that's what it looks like. They have a 5-star at every position on defense. It's crazy. They're so fast. 38-7, very easy win for them. We've got another interesting matchup here. Ohio State traveling to Lincoln, taking on Nebraska. This is the big noon game, so it will be 11 a.m. Central Time there in Nebraska. I've got the Buckeyes getting back on track, offensively winning 49-24. To me, the big key thing with Ohio State this week is going to be finishing drives. You're talking about 6 red zone trips against Penn State at home. Only 1 touchdown. A lot of 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts. No push for Trevion Henderson and that offensive line. It's Ryan Day emphasis on finishing drives. They're going to finish drives 7 touchdowns, 0 field goals, 49-24 over a Nebraska team who hasn't gotten blown out yet this year. They kept it close. Nearly beat Michigan. They've played a lot. Purdue last week, disappointing loss, but it was a close game. They're an interesting team to where, what do they have, 5 or 6 losses, but FPI, they're top 30. I've got them inside of my personal top 25 because I think they're a good team, but they just can't finish games. They're due for a blowout loss. Let's be real, folks. This is going to be the blowout loss to Ohio State at home. Another noon game. This is one of the best games of the day. Wake Forest at North Carolina. I'm surprised they put this in the noon window. North Carolina, really high-octane offense, although it's been more of a disappointing year for them. Wake Forest, of course, undefeated. I have North Carolina handling Wake Forest 42-28. It might be a little bit closer than this, but I think that Wake Forest Cinderella run in the ACC, everyone talking about Wake Forest, can they be undefeated? They definitely have the offense to do it. I don't know if they have the defense to do it. I've got Wake Forest losing the first game of their season. Where they will be ranked this coming Tuesday will be interesting. Probably at least inside the top 12. We'll have to see undefeated ACC Power 5 team, but really no, huge impressive wins. North Carolina coming off a loss to Notre Dame. Really a sporadic team with a bad defense, but a really good high-octane offense. A lot of big plays for North Carolina. I think they upset Wake Forest. They are at home, and they are 3 or 2.5 point favorites, by the way, at this point. Another noon game we've got. This is a really fun one. Liberty and Malik Willis traveling to face Matt Corral and Ole Miss. I have Ole Miss getting back on track after their loss to Auburn, 42-24. This is really Malik Willis' showcase game when it comes to his draft stock. This game will really make or break where he is viewed as a top quarterback in this upcoming class. Matt Corral, he's completely out of the Heisman race. I'm sick of it. The dude had about 6 straight opportunities to put together a Heisman performance. He strikes out against Alabama. He strikes out against Auburn. He strikes out against Tennessee. How many Heisman opportunities are we going to give this guy? He's out of the Heisman race. I'm sick of it. He's my QB4 in the 2022 draft class when it comes to prospects. I am not high on him. Think Zach Wilson when it comes to Matt Corral. Think Zach Wilson, guys. But I do have them winning 42-24 in this game. Noon start time. I believe it's on the SEC network, of course. Another noon game, we've got SMU trying to get back on track at Memphis. So this could be a very high-scoring game. SMU coming off that close loss to Houston. I've got SMU in a high-scoring shootout type, 42-38. A lot of high-octane offenses in the early window this upcoming Saturday. Memphis with Calvin Austin III, phenomenal receiver, one of the best receivers in FPS. They're a high-scoring offense with a really bad defense. SMU, high-scoring offense, really bad defense. I'd be interested to see the over-under in this game. I think it's probably about 75 points, honestly. These two teams are going to score. I've got them combining to score 80 at this point. Should be a really good competitive noon game. Moving on to the 3 o'clock window, we've got Idaho State, the FCS school, traveling to BYU and Brigham Young. BYU coming off that huge win in a shootout game against Virginia. And I have BYU getting the victory in a weird 3 o'clock start, 52-8. I have Idaho State scoring a touchdown late and then going for two, and getting the 2-point conversion, a game changer for their program, a true game changer. Idaho State leaves BYU with their heads held high, getting that 2-point conversion, 52-8 the final score in that one. 3:30 game, it is Tulsa at Cincinnati. We've got College game day coming to Cincinnati. It's going to be crazy. Cincy in need of blowout wins. Tulsa, not a good football team. I've got Cincinnati handling Tulsa very easily. 49-7. They need these wins bad. That's 2 straight underperformances for Cincinnati and teams they should have blown out. Both 1-win teams in Navy and Tulane. You got to blow out those football teams. I think they get it done here. Desmond Ridder, maybe 4 or 5 total touchdowns on the ground and through the air combined for Cincinnati. So 49-7, the final score there. Another 3:30 game. This is an interesting one. Michigan State at Purdue. Everyone talking about this game being a trap game for Michigan State. They're only 3-point favorites. So Michigan State coming off that, huge win against their arch rival Michigan. And I have Purdue winning this game 30-27. And maybe I'm not giving Michigan State enough respect. Maybe. I did have them beating Michigan, though. I will say, I thought it was going to be a lower scoring game, but I did have Michigan State beating Michigan. This is just one of those games. It's so tough for me. It's so tough. Purdue, you don't know what you're going to get with them every week. It's this thing where they play these top teams at home really close. Again, Michigan State is only 3-point favorites. I feel like I need to start respecting Michigan State more, and maybe I should have Michigan State winning this game. But I will say, quick note, if you're a Michigan fan, you are rooting for Purdue like crazy in this game because you need Michigan State to lose 2 games for you to get into the Big Ten championship over them. If Michigan wins out, they would still need Michigan State to lose 2 games. And if you're Michigan, you think Michigan State's probably going to lose to Ohio State in Columbus, they would still need to lose another game. It could be this game, or maybe it could be the last game of the season against Penn State. But Michigan State, Kenneth Walker, definitely the leader in the Heisman clubhouse. He could have another huge game. This is going to be a competitive game. Kenneth Walker could have another phenomenal performance. But again, Purdue, it's this weird thing in West Lafayette where they play these teams really close. I don't know what the weather's like. I'd be interested to see. I'm thinking slight rain, maybe a little dampness on the field. Yeah, 30-27 the final there, 3:30 game. We've got another 3:30 game, this one on NBC, of course. Navy taking on Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I really need to start giving that team more respect. I have Notre Dame winning this game 38-14. Navy, just not a good football team at this point, although they did win last week in an impressive, they were like 11-point underdogs, I think against Tulsa, and they won that game. But give me Notre Dame big in this one. Kind of a lower scoring game. We know Navy likes to limit the offensive possessions. They like to have long drives. Maybe they get one of those long drives mid-second quarter, about a 7 or 8 minute drive where they score. But other than that, I've got Notre Dame in this one pretty comfortably, 38-14 at home. We've got another 3:30 matchup. Good one here. Oklahoma State at West Virginia. West Virginia really shocked me last week with their win and their really overall offensive performance. In this one, I have West Virginia getting a nice little upset, 28-27. Oklahoma State coming off that huge blowout win against Kansas. I just personally never bought Oklahoma State. I never bought them. They could very easily win this game. I don't think West Virginia is this powerhouse team. But West Virginia did shock me, scoring 38 points against Iowa State when I really thought Iowa State had turned around their season. That was impressive, and they're at home, 3:30 time slot. This will be a close game, but I could see Oklahoma State winning it. It's a toss-up, but give me the home team in this one, coming off a good offensive performance. Give me West Virginia. We've got an SEC matchup here. It is Auburn taking on Texas A&M. Texas A&M coming off a bye week. Auburn coming off that huge home win against Ole Miss. Flip a coin with this game, really. Flip a coin. Texas A&M with their backup quarterback, 30-28. I've got A&M winning. Who knows? What do you want analysis on this game? These SEC teams, they're so close. I've got the home team 30-28. It's what I mean. Texas A&M, what are you going to get from them with their backup quarterback? They're a decent team. They've got a good defense. Okay, Auburn, they've been hit or miss. 30-28, the final score there. Next, we've got Baylor traveling to TCU. TCU parting ways with Gary Patterson. That's headline. That surprised me. I thought they were going to, if they were going to part ways with him, it would have been at the end of the season. He's been there for, 21, 22 years. I have TCU kind of playing inspired football, getting an upset win against Baylor. I still am not buying Baylor, especially TCU at home in this matchup. Baylor, listen, Baylor's a good team. What are they, 6-7-1? They're a good team. I'm trying to respect these teams now, but it's just I'm not buying them as a true contender in the Big 12. So I've got Baylor in this one at 34-24. We've got Penn State at Maryland. This is a great time for Penn State to get back on track after their 2 losses to Illinois and then playing Ohio State really well, but losing. I have Penn State 38-14. Maryland is really having a tough time of it. They did beat Indiana, but it was a 3-point game. Indiana playing their 3rd-string quarterback. Penn State really needs wins. They're desperate. Sean Clifford looked healthy against Ohio State. I have Penn State and Penn State big in this 3:30 matchup there at College Park. Now we've got a 6 o'clock game. It is Coastal Carolina taking on Georgia Southern. And I have Coastal Carolina huge in this one, 51-20. Georgia Southern giving up around 500 yards of offense per game. Coastal Carolina and Grayson McCall, great offense. Love that team. I know a lot of people hate Coastal Carolina. I love this team. They're so fun. 51-20 overall. I think they're a top 20 team in college football. 51-20 the final there. 7 o'clock game, LSU taking on Bama. And this is going to get ugly quickly, 55-10. As long as Alabama's offense shows up, to me, you get 2 versions of LSU, a completely depleted, just defeated version, and then a version that's inspired and plays hard. At Alabama, this could be like 14-0 early in the first quarter. I think they just quit. I think LSU with Ed Orgeron, a lame duck coach at this point, not returning next year, they're just going to quit. Alabama's going to boat race on 55-10. This is going to get ugly quickly. This was just a crazy rivalry two or 3 years ago. Now it's so uncompetitive. It's crazy. Another 7 o'clock game. We've got Tennessee taking on Kentucky. And ladies and gentlemen, I do have Kentucky winning this game 30-27. Everyone seems to be picking Tennessee, so that's telling me to take Kentucky. Kentucky coming off that bad loss, I understand it. Tennessee does have a good offense. I've been high on Tennessee, but to me, everyone's taking Tennessee. They're saying Tennessee's going to win. That's telling me I'll take Kentucky to get back on track and get a win. Next, we have Iowa taking on Northwestern, a good old-fashioned grudge match here. Just 2 horrific offenses. I've got Iowa winning this football game 20-10. Iowa is plummeting. They're ranked 19th now in the AP. They were as high as 2 just like 3 or 4 weeks ago. 156 yards of total offense against Wisconsin. This game... Oh my God! This may be a 6-3 type game. I'm waiting for a 6-3 game. I'm so ready for it. These offenses just horrific and good defenses. Good hard defensive. Pat Fitzgerald's gonna have his defense ready to play. 20-10 Iowa. They got to get back on track. They got to start winning some games. I've got them winning this one. We've got a little fun matchup here. Boise State taking on newly ranked Fresno State in a 7 o'clock game. I've got Boise State on the road getting a win. I've been really good predicting this Boise State team. I predicted their upset win over BYU as well. They're playing better football right now. Fresno State coming off that big win, maybe a little too high coming off that win, knocking off San Diego State. I think they come back down to earth. They are a good football team. Let me just say this. Fresno State's a really good football team. They're underrated. They deserve to be ranked, but I like this Boise State team. People are underrating Boise State due to a couple early season losses. This is a good underrated team. Boise State, sneaky. I've got them 33-27 in this one. 7:30. This is the ABC game somehow. It is Oregon at Washington, and to me, this game's going to be a lot closer than people think, but Oregon is going to win 23-20. On Tuesday, I do expect, this is the first time I'm saying this, I do expect Oregon to be ranked ahead of Ohio State due to the head-to-head win and also Ohio State struggling a little bit against Penn State. So I think Oregon gets ranked ahead of Ohio State. Ohio State's going to be 6th. Oregon might be 5th. But overall, with Oregon, I think they lose to Utah. In 3 or 4 weeks, they go on the road to Utah. It's going to be a toss-up. Utah's playing really good football right now. This is going to be a closer game than expected. Washington does have a good defense, but I think this is not the game Oregon loses. They get the job done. They win this game close, low-scoring game, 23-20. I think Oregon loses in a few weeks at Utah. Again, that's when I think they'll lose. If Oregon wins out and Ohio State wins out, that could be very annoying for Ohio State. We'll have to see what happens there. Another 7:30 game. We have Indiana taking on Michigan. So a night game at the Big House. Indiana is just really bad, and this game sets up, to me, for Michigan to just run through Indiana, running the ball, maybe 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns on the ground. Good, solid defense. Indiana starting their second, third string quarterbacks. Who knows? It's a quarterback carousel there. 45-14, Michigan big in this one. Bounce back performance after their tough loss at Michigan State, where they had over 500 yards of total offense. Another 7:30 game. We've got Houston taking on South Florida. Houston coming off that massive win, getting ranked. I've got them big in this one against a bad South Florida team, 49-21. Going to be a high-scoring game, folks. Take the over in this one. The over-under is only like 54.5. Take the over in this 7:30 matchup between those two teams. And then the nightcap, we have UTSA, the unbeaten UTSA, taking on an underrated UTEP team who's 6-2. Their crowd's going to be crazy. It's a 10-15 game. I have the University of Texas San Antonio remaining undefeated, but not covering the spread, winning 34-27. They are currently 16th in the AP poll, the highest ranking they've ever had. Really fun season for them. UTEP, very rarely do they get a ranked opponent on campus. Should be really good atmosphere for that game. 10-15, the only night game between ranked teams, or the only really late night game, 10 o'clock start between ranked teams. Guys, those are all of the Week 10 matchups. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.